New year. I hope your year has been off to a great start. So, we all have different mental models, right? Ways our minds work when we're processing information. For me, one of the things I immediately think when I observe something is I'm always wondering what's behind that, right? So, what's behind that action? What's behind that behavior? Whether I read something, watch something, long after the movie's over, the book's over, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what's behind that? I'm very curious, not about. I react less to what presents. I'm very curious about what powers the thing that presents at the surface. And so, one of the things, again, I think about this all the time, and I also think about it in the context of organizations, right? When I see organizations that have what I've just termed enduring success, right? Success over time, over events, over many sort of dimensions. Like, what is it that drives that? And one of the clear things that drives enduring success is stakeholder commitment. Now, I know that sounds very buzzwordy, but let me sort of break it down. Stakeholders, it's the people, right? Whether they're employees or customers or suppliers, they're people in the community, investors, they're stakeholders, right? Individual people or collective people who are stakeholders to that organization, to that business, to that nonprofit, to that establishment. But this notion of stakeholder commitment, meaning the people who are involved in some way, shape, or form in that organization's ability to run and to be successful are committed. And commitment, as the name implies, right, it's not transactional. It's beyond just sort of checking the box or meeting a quota. So think about it this way. When people are committed, they tie their own personal success to the success of the entity that they're committed to, right? They go all in. They see their own success as this organization, this leader, this person, this establishment, whatever it might be, is successful. So it's a deep investment in building and doing something lasting. And so in the context of an organization, you might say, yeah, and a committed employee will stay, during tough times, or a committed customer will promote the brand even when things aren't going well, or a committed community member will advocate for the needs of that organization or of that business. A committed supplier would prioritize the needs of that business, right? Even in the shortage, right? Commitment is a deeper, and we talk a lot about loyalty, and I'm a big believer in loyalty as a metric. I see commitment as loyalty as part of commitment, right? Commitment is this complete alignment. It's usually, signals that there's alignment in values, that these individuals align and take pride in the organization's mission, right? There's a sense of ownership that comes when individuals are committed to an organization. And it's less seasonal, it's less about a good time, bad time. Again, it's more complete, right? Well, even when times are tough, commitment is evident. Now, as much as this might seem like this sort of far out there thing, it's actually not. It's very common. If you think about people in their sports teams, sometimes people and artists, right? There's a particularly sports, I think is a good example. I think there's this level of commitment, whether they're doing well or they're not doing well. Commitment is evident. And you see it in some companies, you see it in organizations, right? With some stakeholder groups, you do see that level of commitment, right? When there's that deep commitment, folks who are committed, they don't just weather the storm. They don't just hang out to see how the storm will go. They're actually part of the weathering of the storm, right? They're part of how an organization navigates tough moments and tough times. So there's real power in ability in sustained commitment. One other really interesting thing when there is stakeholder commitment is there's this multiplier effect, right? Committed employees create great experiences that build committed customers. Committed customers make employees motivated. They might impact the community. Committed community members attract more talent to the organization, creating committed employees, and they attract customers. So there's this whole ecosystem. It's a virtuous cycle. And I think it's a very important thing to note the role of a committed stakeholder, of stakeholder commitment, and the role that plays in enduring success, right? In the times that we're in, where things are changing, things are shifting, lots of entrants, lots of sort of broader, more macro factors, micro factors that impact organizations. And this is all sorts of organizations, whether it's a nonprofit, hospital, whatever the case may be. This idea of committed stakeholders is critical in the topic of enduring success. And so my intention was to talk a little bit about this idea of commitment and just touch on it, keen on your thoughts, keen on your perspective. And in the next video, I'll talk more about this idea of enduring success and what it means or what it might mean beyond what is indicated in the name, in the term. All right, thanks.